See this? This is what a winter morning is. Look at that. That's nice. Hello everybody. I'm DurchBurch, and man, it has been a long time since I did a vloggy thing. Like, a long, long time. I'm trying to think, when was that last one? I can't even remember what the last one was. I know it was, probably early October. Yeah, shortly before I started doing the DurchBurch plays for Halloween and whatnot. So, this is my first vloggy thing with no beard. I mean, I got stubble. The stubble's back. But that's about it. So yeah. I don't really know what more to say than, I mean, I guess, I hope you guys enjoyed that little, clip from this morning. This morning being Friday morning. You guys were watching this on Sunday. Or later. But, yeah, it's winter-ish. I don't know, is it winter yet? It's December 9th. Is that winter? That's probably not winter. It's probably not winter for a while. But, just to show you guys, this is the time it is now. It's like, I don't know. Probably what, like 7:45 to 8, somewhere in there. And I have a computer, I can check over here. 7:49, yeah. So it's decently late. But, yeah, it's finals week fast approaching. Like, literally, my first final is next Thursday. And that's the one I have to do good on. Otherwise, I fail that class. It's the only one that actually has a substantial impact, really, right now. Like, I'm doing extremely well in psychology. We don't have a final exam for my natural resource conservation class. Instead, we have the final, like, project of sorts as a paper. That's not hard. I think that's probably due Tuesday, I guess. I haven't really checked. I don't know. I'll do it eventually. I mean, microeconomics isn't that important to me. Like, intro to microeconomics is just there. I took it out of, you know, a why not type feeling. And, I'm not doing terribly. I probably have a B or a high C at worst. So, I mean, not doing extremely well on the final exam wouldn't be a massive loss. So, yeah. I don't know. I never really cared much for the class, I guess. It's just, I don't know, it's been fun. I've enjoyed the class. That's just, I'm not interested in economics. I really don't care that much. I mean, it's taught me a bit about economics. I've learned quite a bit about economics. But I still don't care about economics. I mean, you can learn about things you don't care about. It happens. But, trying to think. For my winter break, I'll probably pick up on uploads again. I haven't had a chance to really do that. As much, you know, here, I'm sure you guys have noticed, like, 4-day breaks are pretty common between videos. But over the winter break, I'm hoping to be able to do a bit more. I'm going to be taking my computer with me back home, and that's going to be lasting somewhere into January, I guess. It's about, like, 15 to 20 days, a couple weeks. So there should be more stuff coming out then. I'm hoping to, at some point, get an Elgato, and another HDMI cable, and a remote for my TV, so that I can use it more effectively, because it's hard to use without a remote. I mean, actually, I mean, I have a channel switch probably. I actually haven't even checked. But it's, you know, would be easiest to have a remote. My gamepad does not work as a TV remote for it when it comes to switching inputs, because inputs are a whole different deal. With this TV, it's, I forget what they call it, like a graphic input menu. So where's my channel button? Just says perform channel search, so. Yeah, apparently my button does absolutely nothing. I don't know what this button is. What's this button? Oh, source select. There it is. Nope, that's not what I wanted to hit. Okay. Oh, I am getting further into the menus here. Okay. Source button. HDMI 1. There we go. I can turn that off. Also, maybe another. Oh yeah, just I guess another HDMI cable is what I need, really. I think I have one at home somewhere. I can ask my dad to check at some point. But yeah. Yeah, that's really about it. From what I can think of. Like, reach deep. I just kind of wanted to make this video. I didn't really have any specific message behind it or a specific reasoning behind it. I don't know. Let's swing around over here and see if there's. Oh yeah, I might as well show off some of these. So this could need some touch-ups in one spot specifically, but I need a finer brush than I have. This here is a cutting from a maple tree from a forestry area. And there's a forestry service, and they were cutting maples and stuff, and it was for natural resource conservation. You can see here, the 17th of November, natural resource conservation. It's maple. I finished it. The sides actually technically have 6 layers. The rest of it has 3. It's pretty cool. Don't fall over. Okay, and then this here was another thing made for, or that was for natural resource conservation. It's a little like crossbow bolt arrow, I don't know, projectile, I guess. It's made out of, and get the actual rest of the wood here, or a chunk of it. Here we are. Made out of this wood. Actually, if you notice, some very strange. I don't know if it's going to get in focus, but here, this is a bit easier. It's fading a bit because it's dying, but there's this oddly like neon green, neon yellow color underneath its bark. I think it's Japanese corkwood. Japanese or Chinese corkwood. Can't remember exactly. But yeah, carved it into this, finished it. I think it actually looks really quite beautiful and shiny. Pull this back. And, yeah. Almost looks like a wand from Harry Potter, but very freaking long. Like, none of the wands are, you know, this long. It's crazy. But, and this is the hook. I found this out in the woods. I don't think I'm gonna finish this though. I like it being all like this. It used to be longer. I've actually lost a chunk. You can see there it broke off. It was a very sturdy piece of wood. At least it felt like it, and then that part snapped. So it's actually much shorter. This was this was a weapon, before. Now it's a little bit less of a weapon. It's kind of just a fancy looking piece of wood. Cool shaped growth. And this is the apple beater, or the apple crusher, whatever you want to call it. Can't really see much of the apple pieces left over on it, but this thing can split apples in half, turns out. Which is weird because it's very thick. You wouldn't think it would be able to do that. Yeah, that's my little treasure trove that I have. Actually, I don't think I even mentioned in any of the vloggy things. I have a job now that takes up time. Let's see, there's my schedule. See, at least for right now, up until next semester. Next semester, I think Tuesday is going to be pretty much gone, but that should be fine regardless. So I work 1 to 3 on Monday, 1 to 4 Wednesday. I walk there. It's a 20-minute walk, so I leave about 30 minutes early. And Tuesdays leave by 8. It's a process. It really is. But, I enjoy it. It's interesting. I help with people who are, I guess, like working to get their GEDs. There's one student who's there for college prep. It is mainly like, it's adult learners for the most part. I think there's one girl, she's 17. But it's, they're mainly adults, but they're just general, like, high school dropouts, middle school dropouts, people who stopped, pursuing education, eventually came to a point in their life when they said, I want this, I want an education, I want to, learn. For the most part, a lot of them are there on their own, of their own accord. And so they have a decent work ethic, and, they're going to work harder because they, it's what they've wanted to do, it's what they settled on, it's what they decided they were going to do. In my class specifically, all of them have children. The girl who's 17, she's pregnant right now, and she wants basically to get her GED so that she can have better jobs to help support herself and her child. Trying to think, like, some of them are there partially to be able to help their kids learn. Like, they want a GED, they want to learn this stuff so they can help their kids someday with their homework. They can be there as a functioning, educated parent. And most of them have jobs somewhere or another. And they're like, they're, for the most part, they're very respectable people, and I really like talking to them. It's kind of weird though, because some of them, they're like, mid-20s. They're older than me in some cases, but yet they act like high schoolers, not even seniors though. Like, they almost remind me of like the sophomores and the freshmen from my high school days, and that kind of shows like where they stopped, pursuing their education, and how that kind of affects people, I guess. It's almost like a stall in social development. And it's not like it's a bad thing. Like, they're very fun people, but there's almost a naivety and a, what's it called? I wouldn't say an ignorance. It's not stupidity, it's, I guess, a naivety and almost an angst about them that sometimes, like, but they're generally, like, very energetic, and, fun to be around. Like, freshmen in high school, I had multiple friends who were freshmen and sophomore, and juniors, they're very fun people to be around. It's just they don't take things as seriously. I guess that's what I was really looking for. Like, serious things they look at in a more, light, happy tone. And that's not always a bad thing, but it was just kind of an interesting observation I made. But I love working with them. It's a rewarding process. I mean, and the thing is, they're also they're older than me, and so they've dealt with a lot of things in their lives, presentations and things like that, or just difficult circumstances. And so whenever I would I recently taught something and I didn't do terribly, but they they were all very supportive of me, and it was a very interesting feeling knowing the students actually care, and they support you, and they say you did great. I learned a lot about this part of it or something, or and I mean, they're not going to get everything just from my presentation and from my hey, this is how this is done, running through it pretty quickly, trying to keep it a bit slower, answering questions as they ask them, kind of giving them some side ways to do things, but those are completely unnecessary and even a bit more advanced, but they might make it easier if you do them when you kind of get to a fundamental understanding of what makes those work. I like to introduce higher concepts when I teach. I've learned I like to say you can do it this way, but you could also think of it like this. This is a kind of a more complex way to think of it, but when you come to understand that more complex way, it's the easiest way. Because that's how I think in math. I think in what is easiest. How I multiply large numbers is I break it up. I break it up into an addition problem where an easy number is multiplied by the one number, and then that's added to the other number multiplied by another. So 74 times 5, I would do 70 times 5, which is 350, plus 4 times 5, which is 20, and I would get 370. That's my mental process for breaking things like that down. And it works for more complex things. One thing I was struggled with as a young child was 11 times 11, which is 121. Well, you can break that down into 11 times 10 plus 11, which is 110 plus 11 is 121. But it was so difficult for me to grasp that at first before I realized that I could just break it down like this. I struggled with that mainly because 11 times 5 is 55, 11 times 6 is 66. It's always the number and the number, but 11 times 11 is not 1111. It's not 1,111. It's 121, because it's an 11 next to an 11, but you can't have it that high, and so you squish the 11s together and you get 121, because you have 2 in the middle now. It's really, I guess that's the easiest way to picture it in my head. But, that was always confusing for me as a child. And so I explained how I like to break things down, and that actually kind of confused them a bit, because they didn't realize you can break down more advanced multiplication. You don't need to know your times tables past 10 in some cases, if you can find a 10 in a problem, you can make an easy problem. 80 times 323. Well, I can break that down into 8 sets of 323 times 10, which is 3,230. 8 times. So if you do that on paper, it might be a bit easier for you to work that out without using a calculator. If you do that in your head, you might get lost. I know I would. But, I've been rambling about teaching for too long. I feel like you guys are probably going to be getting bored by that. So, I'm just going to think, is there anything else I wanted to touch on? I guess if you are interested in deer hunting and the ethics of hunting, I would recommend this book, Deerland. It's very interesting. It's about, deer, the ethics of deer hunting. It's less so about deer, it's more so about deer hunting in general. But we learn a lot about deer in it, and about deer hunting, about, what is ethical in deer hunting, how has deer hunting lost some of its ethics in recent years and whatnot. It's a very interesting read. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I don't hunt, so it was actually my favorite of the early books we read in my natural resource conservation class. Currently, we're reading Aldo Leopold's Sand County Almanac, and that, very, very nice book. I really enjoyed the beginning of it, especially where it's the actual Sand County Almanac, and it's him going through month by month describing nature during those months, and it's a really cool thing with learning what happens in the sand counties of Wisconsin in April, my birth month. What happens then? I discovered the most adorable bird, the woodcock. They are adorable, and I love them, and they are cute. They are so cute. I would keep many a woodcock as a pet. That's a name I would have laughed at. And then I saw how adorable they were. I'm like, oh, I can't think of you as a little penis. You're a little adorable bird with a long beak and tiny little feet. But, yeah. If I sound kind of drained, it's because I am. The end of the semester fast approaches, and there's kind of a fatigue associated with it. I'm also very hungry, for no real reason. I ate recently. I don't need to eat more. If I eat more, I'll just get fatter. It's kind of hard to see because I'm wearing mostly black. I'm gonna put my new shirt. Yeah, I don't need to get fatter. I don't need more weight thrown on. But my hunger. I'm just gonna drink a full bottle of water. Distract myself. And man, I'm just happy it's winter. Winter is my favorite season. It's a nice season. You got the holidays, whether you celebrate Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, the Yuletide, Christmas. I'm sure there's other holidays within there, but the general holiday season is just awesome. I mean, my family is mostly agnostic, atheist, agnostic atheist, I guess, because agnostic is not really a standing. Agnostic is a descriptor of your standing. I have a brother who's a Druid, so he celebrates the Yuletide, but we all celebrate Christmas as a family because family tradition and whatnot, and it's a national holiday by this point. I mean, I'm not gonna go and be like Merry Christmas, because I don't want to be that guy who offends someone who does not celebrate Christmas because their family tradition is Hanukkah, because they're Jewish, or they're, a Jewish convert. Maybe they don't celebrate anything during the winter, and they hate the winter, and they hate, the explosion of Christmas and whatnot everywhere. I don't know, it's a fun season. You give gifts, you get gifts. It's like, it's everyone's birthday. It's a birthday party for everyone. That's what Christmas is. Like, to me, it's like you give and you get, and you are with family, and it's fun, and you're happy, and you eat so much food, so much tasty, tasty food. Oh man, I'm so excited. It's gonna be pretty nice. I'm gonna eat a lot of beef. I hope the beef returns this year. My uncle makes some good beef, and it's the best. Bone apple teeth, as the memes would say. But yeah, I think that's everything I could possibly cover in this time. I'm just looking around the room, seeing if there's anything I've missed. Oh, how about this, just to end it off? I started a paper that I turned in with a discretionary notice, with, reader discretion advised. None of the opinions below none of the opinions below are necessarily my opinions. I started off because I was the Unified Sportsmen of Pennsylvania. That was my stance, starting a debate on deer hunting. The Unified Sportsmen of Pennsylvania, if you don't know them, literally on their website, on their About page, say that they are against political correctness because it harms the sport of hunting, or the sports of hunting, trapping, fishing, and shooting. I don't get how that works, because it's not politically correct to say that deer are sentient, or things like that. Like, PETA things aren't political correctness. They're political ignorance. No, it's not quite correct. They're going too far with some of the things. So it's really weird. I decided to go full blown backwoods kind of guy. You gotta shoot deer. You gotta eat that deer. That's life. But I literally started my paper off with, there are 3 things in this world that I love: beer, deer, and having the ladies near. Literally the first sentence of, my intro to my stance. It is, oh boy. I hated being that side, but it's okay, because the PETA side hated being PETA. The other sides had the more okay ones, like the Game Commission, or the ASPCA, or the Audubon Society. These are people with logic behind their statements. The Unified Sportsmen of Pennsylvania do not believe that there are too many deer. They refuse to acknowledge it. They say there are too little. They say that there is no reason to have less deer, because less deer means less deer. And you can't have less deer. And it's like, what is going through your mind right now, you crazy redneck? There is clearly too many deer. If there is too little underbrush in a forest, they want an exact count of deer from the Game Commission, who has decided that is literally impossible. It is better to look at how much underbrush there is in an area and say, is there enough underbrush to support deer? Is there underbrush here? If there is, deer can be supported. If there is no underbrush, there are no deer. They are going to die. They are going to starve. There are too many deer here. They're eating all the underbrush. And then they're like, we don't need no underbrush for deer. We can leave out corn. We can leave out, all these tasty things. We got licks and stuff. No, that doesn't feed them. That does not sustain them. That's not healthy for them. They need to browse. Let them browse on what they need to. Let them be less. The Unified Sportsmen of Pennsylvania don't want to hunt does. They specifically are against that because that means that less fawns will happen because one doe killed is if you look at it, if you shoot a buck, another buck can mate with all the does that buck would have mated with. They can lighten that load. But if you get rid of deer, like does, then the bucks are now in more high competition for fewer does. And they're worried that's going to lessen the population, and it would. That's why it's done. That's why they recommend you shoot does and you get special things to shoot deers. Or, not deers, bucks. Deers is not a word. You can tell how strong the fatigue is in me. Yeah, that was my stance. I brought this in and argued with someone from PETA who had a picture of deer that had been hit by a doe. I was like, see this? What is more humane? Because they were talking about in the debate, they were talking about deer being hit by cars not being humane enough. Deer need to have their own area away from people. People are not nature. They should stay away from deer and whatnot. And she hated every minute of this. I believe she referred to it as, I'm going to throw up if I keep going down this path. You take it, and pass it on to her cohort at PETA, who also did not like it, but was a little less dramatic with it. But I was like, what is less what is less ethical to you? Okay, having too many deer getting hit by cars, or me shooting this fine piece of buck right here? Right through the heart. One shot, one kill, he's gone in a few seconds. He ain't there, he ain't feeling much pain, he gone. He ain't there. And she's like, you missed. I'm like, the head I missed? Yeah, I missed the head. I ain't getting rid of that horn mount right there. That's a natural mount. And yeah, it's not lined up to actually hit the heart, even if I account for bullet drop. But bullet drop was accounted for in that, and getting a good picture. Because I edited that together in 5 minutes. It looks really cool. I like it. And yeah, but I'm not going to account for everything. I'm not going to get good aim. I want a good picture of a deer. I want the buck to be centered in the reticle. I want it to look nice. And yeah, it was a fun debate, but Unified Sportsmen of PA are crazy. That's really all I gotta say about them. If you know somebody from the Unified Sportsmen of PA, I recommend that they do some research. They talk with other sportsman societies in Pennsylvania that are not the Unified Sportsmen of PA, and they get out of there, because the Unified Sportsmen of PA are crazy. They are crazy. But yeah, that's about it. Alright, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. If not, I don't know, tell me why. You can do that. You don't have to be like, I dislike this. I mean, you can hit the dislike button. You can comment that you dislike it. My video size almost reached. But anyways, you can hit the like button. There are a lot of things you can do to let me know that you dislike a video. If you do dislike a video, then you comment. Tell me why. Make me better. If I am bad, I can be better. Improve me. But yeah, that's everything. I mean, the video size I'm just going to reach. My phone even wants me to stop. So yeah, also it's going to be hard to record some videos this week. I might get a couple done this weekend. They're going to go up after all this stuff is said and done, but I have a couple time-lapse videos, one of the morning, and one of the night. So yeah, people are singing. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoy those time-lapse videos. I mean, time-lapse bullcrap is one of my favorite series. Not just because it's a very passive series to make, but because it looks really cool to watch things go by really fast. And the things that go by really fast, and this, it's not like snow piling up. That's the coolest thing I could have got, but it decided to not be snowing as much. So instead, the coolest thing I got was a dude shoveling snow. And I think the other one was... The other one's coolest thing was watching it get kind of dark, it was already pretty dark when I started, and watching people walk up to the stairs that now had snow on them. But yeah, that's everything, I guess. So, bye. Enjoy those videos when they come out and whatnot. I'm gonna try and hit the stop button with my nose. Thanks so much for watching my video. You see those thumbnails? The one on the left is recommended to you by YouTube. The one on the right is my most recent video. If you want to see more of my content, don't hesitate to subscribe. I'm also on the channel Pokemon News, so feel free to swing by and say hi.